So now it's been 15 minutes. Now at this point, that's about the amount of liquid we want. You have to start mashing this, creaming it. Breaking up some of the beans. Now you don't have to use ground, well you can use, this is beef. You can use ground veal, pork, mix them all together. You can dice up pieces of short rib of beef, throw it in there. Take some diced up chicken legs, throw them in there if you want to have meat with this. Oh, okay, that was 15 minutes. So I lied. And so it's taken about an hour and 45 minutes to get to this point. And once this is creamed up a little, I'm not making any rice, but I would have rice with this. Just plain white rice or brown rice or basmati rice or any kind of rice you like. There's another way of doing this also, which I'm going to do in about a second. Let me get my burr mixer. Now this is one of the greatest tools for the home. We'll just cream it up a little bit. I don't want to make this puree. This costs about, I don't know, in the 20s, $25, $26. For what it does, makes your life easy. That's enough. And it's easy to clean, comes right off. This is a Cuisinart. I don't work for the company, but it's a great item. Saves a lot of time. Now look how nice and creamy that is. So now we're going to taste it, and we'll finish seasoning it. Not bad. I need a lot more chili powder. Let me season it, and then we'll be done. Well, it's all seasoned. Color looks good, nice and creamy. And the amounts of everything will be on the video. Enjoy. How about some ground beef with white beans, chili style? So I'm going to use some thyme, green pepper, garlic cloves, onion, some cayenne pepper, chili powder, and some ground bay leaves. First thing is to saute the meat, get rid of the fat, and then we'll go further. Nothing special about this process, but I always cook the meat first using a whip, breaking it up well. High flame. Then after this, I'll saute the vegetables in the pan that the beans are going in. And you don't have to season this. It's not as if you're eating a hamburger that you would season, you know, put on the grill, because this is going to be mixed with the beans and cooked until the beans are tender. So all you have to do is just keep going like this, high flame. When all the meat is like a nice brown from being cooked, it doesn't have to be brown like if you were grilling it. And then we'll go from there. Then you put this in a colander and let all the fat drain off, because we don't need this beef fat. All we need is the meat and some nice seasoning in there. That's it. Just keep going. Well, that's almost ready. And besides, if you went and seasoned this now, look at all the grease in there. You can drain it so you'll be draining out the flavor. Well, the meat is done. Now I'm going to go put it in a colander and let it drain for a few minutes. Now I put a little olive oil in there. Now we're going to saute the vegetables. It's always good to saute them, sweat them up a little. You want to give them some color, that's fine. Brings out more flavor. I'm going to add the herbs now too. I guess we'll measure this. To start off, I'm going to put a teaspoon of thyme, dried thyme. It's a nice fresh dried thyme. I learned that I can't keep my dry stuff more than 6-7 months. It loses its flavor. So I go buy more. And a teaspoon of ground bay leaves. You know, you could put almost any kind of herbs and spices in there, whatever you like. This is just what I felt like doing today. So this is on a high flame. You could put bacon in here, you could put ham hock, fresh. I don't like the smoked stuff. But this is more or less the correct process to go through when you're making something like this. Just not throw everything in the pot at one time. If we were cooking bacon, I would leave the bacon grease in there. But then you'll have the bacon flavor. Unless you just want a slight flavor, then you take the grease out. Just put the chopped up crispy bacon in there later. So we're not using any kind of stock. We're using beef. You could put beef broth in here along with the beef, that would help. Whatever meat item or poultry item you're cooking with, if you're going to have a sauce or something similar to this, like a goulash, you should use, if it's chicken, chicken stock, if it's beef, beef broth, if it's veal, that's hard to find. So you use a little chicken and a little beef. So that's sauteed enough. I'm adding the 1 pound of soaked overnight little baby white beans. And I'm guessing this is going to take about an hour and a half or so. And the amount of cold water that I add, or stock, is first to just cover the beans. And the salt and pepper, after this is cooked, then I'll season it. So, with the beef, because what's going to happen to the beef now? Nothing, so you can add it. You can't cook, you can't get any more cooked than what it is. And we'll see if the ratio of beans to the beef is pretty good. Oh, I forgot to put the chili powder in there. So we're going to add it right now. Well, that looks pretty good. We're going to have a nice amount of beans with the meat. That's good. Was my chili powder. And some cayenne pepper later, but chili powder now. There we go. Let's see. And I'm going to add 3 teaspoons of chili powder, which I'm sure I'm going to add more later. Now this will come to a boil. I'll put a lid on it. As soon as it boils, bring it down to a simmer and just let this baby cook away. You know, items like this you can make 2 days in advance with no problem. Don't be afraid of having things for a couple of days in the refrigerator, especially like stews and items like this that are in a sauce. They hold up much longer than if you were cooking a piece of chicken all by itself, or a steak, or a piece of fish. Well, now that it's come to boil, let's lower it. I'm going to set the timer, and I'm going to come back in 1 hour. And just close this up. A nice tight lid. That's cooking slow. 1 hour has passed, and let's see where we're at. Cooking slow. The beans are still firm, so what we'll do is give it another half hour and then check it. It'll probably take longer than that, but we'll see. Well, it's been 1 hour and a half now, so let's see where we're at with the beans. Those pretty little white beans. Getting there. Now I'm going to leave the lid off for the reason that we don't want all this liquid. And we're going to let this reduce a little and then break up some of the beans to get this creamy so it's not so watery. So we'll let this go for about 15 minutes. Raise the flame a little, and we'll be back to look at it.